Right, we're starting now, okay?
Good.
Right, so here we go. Okay.
Welcome to the Reach Awards 2022.
Next one.
Please welcome our Trust Chairman and your MC for the evening, Mr. David Rogers.
Does it work? Yes, it works. Welcome, everybody. It's my great pleasure to be your host tonight for the Reach Awards 2022. We've got a real wonderful night to look forward to. And what a way to start, because a reminder of the fantastic results you and your colleagues have delivered over the past 12 months. It's been another truly outstanding year for combined healthcare. And isn't it great to be back at a face-to-face event? You know, doing this online really doesn't work that well, does it? So that's good, and we've got a proper do tonight. Bit of housekeeping as usual. We aren't expecting a fire alarm. It's such a silly thing to say, really, isn't it? But you've got to do it. So if you hear an alarm, then it's best to get out, really. So we'll make an announcement and then tell you exactly which way to go. But those of you, those instructions are only for you here tonight, but there are lots of people online watching as well. So bear them in mind as well this evening. We're harnessing the best in digital technology, and you'll see examples of it right the way through this evening. And those of you who are watching via our live stream, well, a very warm welcome to you too. For those of you taking part for the first time tonight in our virtual reality experience, welcome onto the stage, and we hope you enjoy the best seat in the house through the virtual reality technology we've got. Now back to our audience here. The virtual reality experience means that we are broadcasting the whole event live in 360 degrees, including yourselves. So let's start off with a quick wave and a cheer to all our virtual reality participants. Yeah! Magic! Thank you! And we're also harnessing social media, so everyone feel free to post, to tweet to each other and the world. And don't forget to include the hashtag, which is REACH2022. And then that will appear on our live media wall. I hope tonight will be a great evening for all our guests, including our sponsors, to whom we're really, really grateful. So the sponsors, there are four. There's Grant Witheridge, UK and Ireland Vice President for Sales and Marketing, Daedalus, get it right. There's Carol Shanahan, now famous chair of There's Steve Allen, he's the Strategic Growth Director for CACI, which is pronounced, it says to me, C-A-C-I. So I got that right. And our very own Steve Jones from Unison. We're also grateful to IT Works Health for their support for this event. And finally, a very warm welcome to our special guest this evening, Matthew Taylor, Chief Executive of the NHS Confederation. Under Matthew's leadership, the Confederation does a fantastic job fighting NHS's corner with the corridors of power in Westminster and Whitehall, as well as across the airwaves with our friends in the media. We couldn't be more pleased that Matthew could be here firsthand to witness some of the finest services and the people anywhere in the NHS. We may once or twice even remind Matthew that we are one of only 2 specialist mental health trusts rated outstanding by the CQC. Just quietly. But as tonight's event shows, there's so much more that our people and our teams deliver together, day in, day out, beyond the particular lens of the CQC ratings. In the audience tonight are a whole host of teams and individuals who have over the past year truly excelled and delivered brilliant innovations and award-winning outcomes, above and beyond the specific accolades we are handing out tonight. To give a shout just to a few, do we have any of our fabulous, unique network of trust-wide freedom to speak up champions here tonight? Yes? Great. And how about our nursing and medical students and apprentices? Yes, there you go. And our medics and pharmacists. Yeah. Are there any acute staff here? Hey! And our community staff. And let's not forget our fabulous primary care teams. And all those people in the back office, the tireless site managers and the estates and facilities teams. And last of this little listing, our regularly award-winning finance team, delivering their unprecedented. We've been in financial balance for 23 consecutive years. That's just phenomenal, given all the pressures over the years. So that's just amazing. Just a quick guide for everyone on how the awards will work. Each presenter will come on stage and read out the criteria for the award being announced. A short video will then announce the name of the highly commended recipient. If you are one of those highly commended, can you make your way to the stage to collect your certificate and for a photo call? After which, the winner will be announced and invited to the stage to collect their award and their own photo call. As always, tonight's event promises to be full of the usual mix of celebrations, humour, and a little surprise or two along the way, but more about that later. In the meantime, please enjoy the start of the proceedings as we recognise and celebrate the great work you and your colleagues do for the people of North Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent. So, to begin with, I'd like to introduce to you, though you know her well, our Chief Executive, Dr. Buki Adiamo, who will serve you well. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. It is such a special joy to be here today. Tonight is all about recognising excellence and achievement at Combined Healthcare, compassionate leadership and excellence in learning, stunning partnerships and a passionate commitment to diversity and inclusion, national leading research, innovation and service transformation, long service unsung heroes and rising stars. All of these and more are parts of the fabulous tapestry of talent, dedication and excellence that underpin Combined Healthcare. It is now just over 3 years since the Care Quality Commission awarded the Trust an overall outstanding rating, the highest overall rating they can award. At that time, we said we were far from complacent and our journey of improvement would continue. Our focus and aim was and remains to be outstanding in all we do and how we do it, including continuing to strengthen integration with our partners and engagement with staff, service users, their families and communities. We were proud at that time to be singled out by the Care Quality Commission as an example for others to learn from in how to sustain improvements in high quality care and performance after receiving an outstanding rating. The fabulous submissions we received for this year's Rich Awards have demonstrated how that relentless pursuit of continued sustained improvement and innovation burns brightly as ever at Combined. And I can tell you, on behalf of everyone involved in shortlisting and judging this year's entries, that you made our job even more difficult than ever. But do you know what? Of all the challenges, stresses and strains facing the NHS at the moment, that was one challenge that was a sheer joy to have to deal with. One thing we keep constantly in mind is that strategies, plans and aims are nothing without brilliant, talented, determined and compassionate people to make them a reality. If there is one major theme that runs throughout all of our award winners and entries, it is the unwavering commitment of our people to protecting and promoting the health and well-being of everyone for whom we have responsibility, staff and service users. And in return, as your employer and your leaders, we have a responsibility to you to provide a supportive, enjoyable and excellent working environment. In this regard, one of the most welcome things we saw this year was the results of our staff survey, which showed us to be the highest scoring trust in the entire NHS across the NHS people promises and themes. On a personal note, since we last held our Rich Awards, I was delighted and proud to be appointed as your interim chief executive. I've always loved taking part in the Rich Awards, and I could not be more proud than being able to stand here as your chief executive to open these proceedings. So, on behalf of the board and all of the senior management team, let me say something very simple. Thank you. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for your talent, your values, and your dedication. Thank you for the services and care you deliver for the families and communities it is our continuing privilege to serve. Thank you for being such great colleagues to each other and for being leaders and innovators. Thank you very much. Now, it is my special pleasure and privilege to invite our special guest to speak to us, Matthew Taylor.
Well, thank you. I've heard you might be outstanding. Is that right? just checking. So look, it's great to be here. I'm a recovering West Bromwich Albion fan. So I associate Stoke with cold, wet, dark, humiliating afternoon. And 20,000 people singing at me, "You always lose at Stoke." Which is true. And even the last time, and the only time I was at Port Vale, we lost at Port Vale as well. And it was the New Year's Day game, and it was snowing. But no orange balls, unfortunately. So, with that, that background, it takes a lot for me to accept an invitation to come to Stoke. So there were 3 reasons why I was glad to say yes. And those 3 reasons are firstly, Joe, who's pacing around there very nervously, because he's no idea what I'm going to say. And he's right to be nervous. And then it's about me, because, well, it's about me. And then it's about you. Those are my 3 reasons to be here. So I'm going to start with Joe, because Joe and I work together. Now, I know that most of you think that Joe is in his, late 30s? So it's going to surprise you when I tell you that we worked together 26 years ago for the New Labour project. Now, there was a time when I would feel a bit apologetic about the fact that I worked for Tony Blair, but that seems to have changed over time. I think it was Mae West who said, "The more I see of men, the more I like dogs." And I think there's an equivalent, which is the more conservative prime ministers I see, the more I miss Tony Blair. Please don't put that on social media. Too late. So Joe's. When I met Joe, he was working for the sadly Miss Frank Dobson, and it tells you how long ago it is that when Frank went into government, the first thing he did was to abolish the internal market. And then 5 years later, Alan Milburn came along and recreated the internal market. And then a kind of combination of Simon Stevens and COVID meant we abolished the internal market. And then in the Health Service Journal last week, I read that they're going to reintroduce payment by results. So I think when you reach the age that policy is less about ideas and more like the hokey cokey, it may be time for us to move on, Joe. But the one story I want to tell you about Joe is actually a slightly traumatic occasion in my life, which was 1996. I was running the Labour Party policy team, and we would meet with the special advisors who worked for the Shadow Cabinet. And we were all in awe of the people who worked in the leader's office. And the person who ran the leader's office was David Miliband. And he was like a kind of god to us. So we would meet every couple of weeks in House of Commons all together, and David would kind of tell us what to do. And you had to be, if you desperate to be approved of. So most of us didn't say anything at all in case we got it wrong. Anyway, this particular day we went in, and Joe started to tell a joke. Now, I don't know whether Joe's ever told you a joke, but Joe's jokes go on and on and on and on. So we're all sitting there, very tense. Joe has got his back to the door and doesn't realise that about 2 minutes into the joke that David Miliband, who we're all in awe of, has entered the room and is standing there waiting for Joe to finish his joke. Now, everybody in the room is telepathically trying to communicate to Joe, stop telling the joke. No, he went on and on. And I'm not going to tell you the joke because it was extremely long and it's not at all funny. I'm only going to tell you the punchline. And the punchline of the joke was, I didn't say Nissan main dealer, I said Nelson Mandela. Now, not only was that a traumatic experience, but it means that one of the greatest freedom fighters of history is forever lodged in my mind associated with a car showroom. So that's Joe, and it's because of Joe partly that I'm here. But I'm also here because I'm trying to recover my confidence as a public speaker. I've been at the content for 18 months. I still feel like a bit of an imposter in the health world. I meet people like you doing amazing things, and I wonder what right I've got to be here. And I've got quite a fragile ego, and I've had a couple of blows recently doing speeches. I did a speech a few weeks ago, really big speech, all my big ideas, and someone came up to me at the end and they said, oh, it's a great speech, really, really liked it. And I said, oh, thanks a lot. I said, what did you make of the point I made about the clash between hierarchical and solidaristic cultures as you're trying to achieve structural reform? And he said, I didn't know what you were talking about, but I thought it was a great speech. So this has started to introduce worry that when I speak, nobody's actually listening to the word that I'm saying. And this was slightly confirmed for me when I was doing an event a few weeks ago in Norfolk with the integrated care system there. And I wanted everyone to be there in the room. I think if we're going to get collaboration working in systems and places, relationships are a really important part of that, isn't it? And so just to get the relationships going, I wanted to bring myself into the room. So I talked about myself, and I talked about my past, and I said, oh, I've got 2 sons. one lives in New York and the other one's a musician. He's a hip hop musician. Anyway, the day went on, it was great, and then right at the end, the chief nursing officer in one of the trusts came up to me and said, it was great, we really, really enjoyed the day, it's been really fantastic. And then she put her hand on my arm and she said, I do hope your son, the musician, I do hope he gets his hip hop. So at that point, the sense that people don't really listen to me was slightly confirmed. But look, the real reason I'm delighted to be here is not because of Joe, who's pacing up and down even more feverishly, or because of me, it's because of you. You are an amazing organisation. We all know what incredibly challenging times these are for the health service, and I spend a lot of time in the media trying to tell the truth about how difficult it is for us, about how the demands that we face are beyond the capacity that we've got, about the 130,000 vacancies we've got, about the huge demand in every part of the system, about our crumbling estate, to tell the truth, because politicians are not sufficiently willing to tell the truth about what's going on in the health service. So that's the incredibly difficult environment in which we work, and in many ways mental health, the least understood part of our system very often, has the toughest challenges of all. And too often we hear stories of mental health not getting it right. And so to come here and to see the amazing work that you do, to feel the pride in the room and what you do is absolutely fantastic. So I've found out a little bit about you. I found out about the quality of your services. I found out about your commitment to innovation. That being outstanding is not the end, it's the beginning of the next chapter on your journey. And most of all, as Bookie said, most of all, the commitment and the enthusiasm of the staff who work in this trust. Every leader I speak to, and I speak to health service leaders every day, all the best leaders say that it starts and ends with their staff, and with the engagement of their staff and the commitment of their staff. And for you to get the highest ratings in the country for staff and how they feel to work in this organisation, it is a remarkable thing. And it's a testament to the leaders, but it's in the end a testament to you and to the way in which you work together and you get on. So you fully deserve that outstanding status that you have, and I'm very proud to be here this evening, and I'm looking forward to coming back again when you're outstanding for the 3rd, the 5th, the 10th time. I can't see it changing. So thank you, and congratulations to all the people who are going to win awards as the evening unfolds. Thank you.
Joe. Many thanks, Matthew, for that speech. Thank you so much. Now, we come to our first award of the evening, and it's a special one. It's the Proud to Care Award, and it's the one that you, staff, have voted for. So it's the same for us as the Players Player Award. So, this award recognises a member of staff who you think best represents the trust value Proud to Care. So let's see who is highly commended in the Proud to Care Award.
Highly commended is Phil Walden. Phil's nominee says Phil is extremely highly thought of, not only in Ward 7, but within the Older Persons Network. He's a fantastic addition to the team, and we feel very, very lucky to have him. He truly deserves recognition for all of his hard work and dedication.
Thank you, Phil. will you come to the stage? We're practicing. Have we got it right, Joe? Thank you, well done. So Matthew, let's see who the winner is.
Well, this is exciting. I've always wanted to do this. And the winner of the Proud to Care Award for 2022 is Richard Dale.
Richard's nominee says Richard is one of the most compassionate nurses I've ever had the privilege of working with. And over the years, he has demonstrated his dedication and commitment to the care and support to patients, families, work colleagues and external services. He demonstrates pure empathy and compassion in all his interactions with everybody he comes into contact with. He is always approachable and always supports to the best of his abilities.
So, you know what happens at these kind of Oscar ceremonies? And it's happened tonight, which is that Richard is such a celebrity that he's unable to be with us tonight, but we're able to beam him in from his Beverly Hills condominium, where he's recording, you know, one of his latest films. And so let's hear from Richard.
And action! Okay, so Richard, well done. That's absolutely brilliant. And there we are.
Congratulations, Richard. Well done. Would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you for everybody who voted for me. It's probably one of the most humbling experiences I've ever had, and thank you for putting up with me all these years. Thank you.
Please enjoy your celebration dinner and your starter will be served shortly.